Hello friends, in the last lecture we have seen NumPy, we have started NumPy and we have seen how to do numerical Python computing and we have created arrays and so on. Today in this lecture we will be playing with arrays, it will be very fun playing with matrices also. You know that arrays, matrices are the building blocks for computer programming and you know images even stored in terms of matrices. So you know that how important it is to have to play with the matrices. So I am Dr. Nilesh Shaikh, Assistant Professor from Priyadarshan Indira Gandhi College of Engineering, Nagpur. In the last lecture, we have seen that there were so many functions available to create array. Right? Array functions is there, linspace function is there, arrange function is there, log spaces function is there, zeros is there, ones is there, full function is there, empty function is there, I function is there. So several functions, plethora of functions are available to create array. Now today we will be playing with array. Now, so let us go directly to the Jupyter where we will be working with arrays. So let us start. We can start. We will import the library NumPy, and we will say import star so that we will be able to use all the functions of NumPy. Now let us take a fresh cell in which we will create array. Just say I'll use the function array, and in the bracket give in the square bracket just give the elements. So this is how you can create array. Just print it. So this is your array. You are ready with array. Let us create another array. Suppose B, and let us take array function, and again let us have another elements in it. So this way you can see here we have created the array B. We can have a simple addition of these two array being say A plus B. This is how simply you can add the elements. And not only addition, you can do so many operations on the array. Like suppose you are doing some research program in which you want some sine and cos also. Then you simply say sine of A. Within a fraction of second, it will give the sine of all the elements. Similarly, you can use cos, tan also. You can use the sum also. You just say sum of A, it will give you the sum of all the elements, right? Equally, suppose you want use minimum function and maximum function. Similarly, you can use the minimum and maximum function also. This is how it is so simple to use array, single dimensional array. These were, and so are the operations. Now let us move further and let us try to understand how to copy the array. In many of the elements, there may be the chances that in your array there are thousands of elements, hundreds of elements, and you want to copy those elements. That means you are not creating array, you want to copy array. So simply you will do so by saying C is equal to A. This is simply how you can copy the array. Now let us print the elements of A and elements of B here. A and C. It has given the, you can see here that same elements it has copied. Now suppose you want to print the address of it. You know that id is a function which can give you the address of any element. So I can I can know the memory location of A and C. You can see here that C and A are the arrays. Even though they have the same name, still their addresses are same. They have the different names, but their addresses are same, and because of copy function, they have the similar values. Let us use another way of copying the element. Suppose I am taking D as an array and saying D is equal to A, and I am using a view function. Okay, this is how I have used view function, and let us print now A and D or all the with the addresses also. Let us execute this. You can see here that A and C have the same elements, okay, and they have the same addresses even. But it means that even though you have used view function, they have the same values as well as same addresses. Now let us change the value of A. Now suppose I say that A is I check the 0th element to be 100. That means I am changing the value of first element of A array to be 100. And now let us print both A and C. Here I am printing A and C. Now see the difference. You can see here, even though you have changed A element, that means first element of A array, still first element of C also has changed. You can see that you can see here A and C have the same elements. That means you are doing the changes within one array, still other will be affected, and they have the same addresses also. But we do not want. What we want is we want two different, altogether different array. By copying, it's okay. They have initially they have the same values, but after the changes in one array, I do not want to reflect that change in another array. So let us see how to do it. instead of view function, I will be using copying function there. Just I will say copy, and you can see the change that okay, instead of 200 I am changing the value by 500. Okay, let us print it. Now you here some problem is there. It has not been perhaps executed. Yes, pop D. Let us use. Yeah, you are printing C there. That is why it's a problem. E is a E is a function. Now let us change the value 700, 900 suppose. Now you can see here that A and C initially were having same arrays. See here, those are having initially same arrays, but addresses are different. You can see here those addresses are different. And now here you can see here A and E. You are doing the changes in first element of A, so they it has changed, but another has not changed. So you can see here that here two are totally different arrays. That means initially by the virtue of copy they were having the same number of values, but if you are doing a change in one array, that change is not reflected in another array. Moreover, their values are also addresses are also different. Here that change you can observe here. You can see. Let us check the value change of D. What was the case with this is they have the same values, but their address is very different. This particular type of copying is called a shallow copying, because here you can see your addresses remains different, but if you are doing the change at one place, another gets reflected. But here in deep copying, you can see addresses are also different, and if you are doing the change at one array, another is not affected. So this is called as deep copying. Let us move ahead and try to have two-dimensional arrays. Suppose I say that f is the array, and a similar function array I will be using, and in the round bracket you can indicate this is a square bracket. This is indicating that I am going to have a one-dimensional array. But inside that, suppose you are putting some arrays like 2, 3, then 7, 8. Now you are creating a double-dimensional array. Now suppose you are putting more one square bracket, it will be a three-dimensional array. Okay, let us work with two-dimensional array initially. See here, this is how you have created two-dimensional array. Now let us have another array. G is equal to, let me use the same line. Sorry, here I need to copy and I will change the element. Suppose 6 I am taking, 68 I am taking suppose, and here I am taking 7 suppose. So this is how you have created print f and g array. Print f, I will say print f and print g. So this is how you can copy and print a double dimensional array. Suppose you want to add those, simply say f plus g, it will give the addition of two arrays. Okay. Suppose you want the multiplication of two arrays, element-wise multiplication it will give. Here you can see that multiplication is there. Okay, so this way you can see here so easy use the double-dimensional arrays. Now suppose you want some functions in it. Suppose you want the number of elements in a array. So simply say n dot size. Size is the command. In here you can see that 4 elements are there in array f. You can see here 4 elements are there in array f. Suppose you want number of dimensions in the array, you just print the command ndim. Here it has shown that it is 2 by 2 or two-dimensional array. Suppose you want to know the data type of the array, you just say d type. It has shown it is the integer type of data type. So this is how simple commands you can use. Now suppose many of the times it forms that you want to convert your higher dimensional array into lower dimensional array. That means suppose that here you have seen that it is f is a double dimensional array. You have seen here with the ndim command, it is two-dimensional array, and you want to convert it into single dimension. So simply you can use the command g. Suppose g is equal to, I say suppose f is the name of the array, and I say flatten. Flatten is the command, and you can see the output of g. It is one-dimensional array. It has converted into one-dimensional array. Similarly, from the this is how you have converted larger dimension into lower dimensional. Or reverse is also possible. You can convert your one-dimensional array into upper dimensional also. Now here g, you know that g is a one-dimensional array, and suppose you want to convert this array into suppose 2 by 2 again, or rather yes, 2 by 2 suppose, and I'm taking some function, some array P, and I say suppose G is the name of a array, and I will use the command reshape. Now 2 by 2, 4 elements are there, only 2 by 2 matrix array is possible. So this is how you have converted P into 2 by 2 array, and simply you can see here that it has converted into 2 by 2 array. So this is how you can convert a lower dimensional array into upper dimensional array also by using the reshape command. So this were about enough about array. Let us move to the further more interesting topic, array matrices. As I told you, matrices are heavy importance in the computer programming. Let us work with matrices. With the matrix command, simply you can convert the your array. Let us take 2 by 2 array. Suppose F is an array, and I want it to be converted into matrix. Let us use X is equal to matrix F, and matrix is a command to convert that, and I will using another matrix. I will copy it, and I FG, suppose G is the element. Suppose let us print X and sorry smaller x and print Y. Okay, you can see here you have converted this into matrices. Now there may be Y is a double dimensional array. We want to make it single dimension. G let us similar F say. Okay, these are the similar elements. Let us work with it. So these are X and Y are the two by two arrays. Sorry, matrices. And now you want suppose addition of these two matrices. You can simply say X plus Y. So this will be the addition of two matrices. Now the problem becomes interesting when you do the multiplication. If you are the C++ programmer and C programmer, you know that for the beginners it will take half an hour program for writing the multiplication of two matrices. I will suggest you to do that. But here in this Python, you just have one command, single command, 3 letters X into Y, and so it will give you the multiplication of two matrices. Not element wise, but the exact way how in theory we do the matrices multiplication. So this is so simple doing the operations in Python. Now let us move ahead and work on some more functions. There was a question, interesting question you may ask, that if there is two-dimensional array, three-dimensional array, then what is the intention behind converting into matrices? Because with the matrices we have many operations. You can see here, if you are multiplying two arrays, then it will be doing element-wise multiplication. But if it is a case of matrix, then it will do with the theory that it will also check whether rows and columns are same. With that theory, it will do the addition, multiplication of matrices. Similarly, suppose many of the times we require a transpose. So simply you just say x dot t, it will give you the transpose. You can see here that 2 and 3, 2, 3 and 7, 8 were the elements. It has converted, it has become 2, 7 and 3, 8. This is how you can do the transpose. Guys, this part was very interesting. I hope you like it. You have done the operations on matrices as well as on arrays. And suppose there may be the many of the times it happens that you are converting the values from the databases. Suppose you have a database in which salary is a column and field, and there are 1,000 elements in the salary, and you just want to know whether there is zero in the that particular 1,000 elements or not. Again, I repeat, I am saying that suppose you have a matrices of 1,000 elements, and you want to know just whether one by one it's not possible to check in the 1,000 elements whether zero lie or not. But just with the command all of x, you can know that whether zero is there or not. All of x, it is indicating true. That means there is not zero in your matrix. Now, so let us check. Let us put zero element in our matrix. Suppose I say that x0 equal to 0. That means I am changing the element to 0. Let us print x. So you have seen there that first two had become 0, and let us execute this command. Now it has given false. That means even though single 0 is there or one more than 1 0, it will give you false. That means there lie a 0 in the element. So this is how simply even maybe 1,000 elements or lakhs of elements. So with the help of just all command, you can know whether 0 is there or not. So this will be interesting if you are using projects, this type of projects. Thank you very much, guys, that you are doing. I hope you are doing hands-on sessions also. Please do hands-on sessions. Please make practice, because only practice makes perfect. Please share this session with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you very much.